big up, and welcome to Liberal 12 Man Show. I'm Liberal 12 Man. I'm also joined by Scouse Lee, and I'm also joined by the Irishman as well. So, big up to Lee. How are you?
Good, mate. Yeah, excellent.
Cool.
Fine fettle. In rude health, for lack of a better cliche.
Okay. Lee is definitely in some chipper spirits today, which is really good. Cool. Going to be a very interesting conversation to have. And the Irishman, how are you doing today?
Well, in the interest of balance, I'm in pain, anguish, torment, agony, and distress. So just to balance it out.
Okay.
No, I've got a sore back. I've got a bit of a sore back, but other than that.
Okay. Good. It's not good that you have a sore back, but good that it's not something other seriousness going on. So that's good to hear. You'll get back. No pun intended. And big up to those out there that are joining us. Big up as well. It's the Callum, the Bernie, definitely Red for Life. Good to see you all, and good to see those that are joining us, but are just on, we're at currently not really chiming into the chat, but are just chilling. Maybe you're working, or maybe you're driving. And if you are driving, please don't be a part of the chat. Just enjoy the ride. But I am here along with my co-host here to go over a Real Madrid meeting at Anfield. It is something that we haven't really seen much of this happen, tell you the truth. Now, if you really think about it, we haven't had Real Madrid at Anfield that often. I understand we did have them, what was it, last year or was it 2 years ago? It was last year, right? It's coming a blur now. We did play them in the Champions League before, but often the case when people think about our encounters with Real Madrid, it's often finals. And in the final, you only have to play them once, and in the final, you normally play them in a neutral ground. So that's what I mean by it is a unique circumstance that we get to enjoy playing them once, at least so far, and that once is going to be at Anfield. That makes a big, hopefully a big difference. I think some of you agree with that. How are you feeling about this game as we approach it, Lee?
Yeah, really good. I feel good about it. Like, we've got the Southampton game out the way, so that little bit of rustiness, like the after break rustiness, should be well and truly banished now. Like, should be shaken off, and I think we'll be ready and waiting for them.
Okay. That's easy enough said. How about for yourself, Irishman?
I'm very relaxed about it. I've seen a few comments today from people sort of, I don't know, giving, kind of group stage vibes where we're third in the group and we've got to get a win. And, it's a big game. Yeah, it's a huge game in terms of the size of the clubs, but there's basically zero jeopardy there. We could lose and it won't affect our performance in this Champions League. So it isn't, like you say, it's a unique one. It's very odd to be playing Madrid in a scenario like this, where it isn't like there isn't something on it major. I mean, we've got more than enough games left to qualify from this group, and we're practically out of it already, top 8. So yeah, it's interesting. It's a bit different. Yeah, to be able to kind of be a bit relaxed about it and look forward to it a bit more, because both teams can kind of just look at it as a bit of a, oh God, I don't want to say exhibition match, but almost like I don't know, almost like a dead rubber to a degree. It's not going to make or break either of their Champions League. They're both probably going to do well. I know Real aren't in the best position, but it is. It's this. We've never had this before. Like you say, a one-off game at home. It's sort of there's no return leg. There's nothing like this. So it is. It is a bit weird, to be honest. I think it is a bit weird. Normally, as you say, when we're playing Real Madrid, it's because we don't often get them in the group stages. It usually is a knockout game, and like you say, more often than not, lately a final. So it is a whole other mindset, and I'd be interested to see what way they look at it as well. How pumped up they are, how intense they are. I'm not really sure because they've got injuries as well. So I'm actually expecting a kind of an open game, bit of a fun game. Well, not an open game, but an entertaining game. Because two teams just try and play football, knowing that the result isn't make life or death.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one thing I haven't done is looked at Real Madrid's remaining Champions League group fixtures after us to see how much they need this result. I don't know these things, but I'm hoping that they don't need it so badly, like that to be at full tilt, and
Well,
they
put it
don't
this
want
way:
to get beat
they need it
because
a lot more than we do.
yeah, it's
They need the
a
points
big
a lot more than
game
we
in it's a big game in sort of like names terms, even for them. Like, you know what I mean? Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Like, we've played them 3 times now in a final. So yeah, they will want to do well, but I just don't know how seriously they'll take it in terms of like risking players' fitness and all that one. I think we'll be able to do that a bit more than they will.
Quite possibly.
Yeah,
Quite
they're
possibly.
20th. They're 20th, right? In this
Mhm.
group or in this thing. They're 20th in this league. They've got 6 points.
Right.
And 9 points. That's only 3 points off. That's only 3 points off 6th. So it's a big whole bunch of them all squished up together.
Right.
So
Right.
a couple
Right.
of wins for them. So played
Yeah.
4, which means
There was 6 on 6 points, I think, or something like that.
yeah, and the
Mhm.
same on 7 and
Mhm.
pretty much the same again on 9, on
Mhm.
8 and 9. So that would be 4. So when they play us tomorrow, will be their 5th game. So after us, they'll have 3 more games. So they'll have 9 points to play for.
Mhm.
And we are on 12 points.
Mhm. I don't know. Let me look up and see what Real Madrid's rest of their matches are for the. Let me see if I can find out. So they have us obviously tomorrow, but they're going to be the next matchup afterward is not any bit easier for them when it comes to Champions League, because let's be honest, like as we all well know, Atalanta has a good coach, and also despite the fact that I don't believe they're playing extremely. I'd have to look at their form, but I don't believe that they're in the greatest of form at the moment. But still, the same, they could look at it as a match that they put a lot of time and effort into preparing for, because Real Madrid have to go to Italy for that match, by the way, and then their next match after that would be to host RB Salzburg, another team that, maybe if they're not prepared, they could end up with a draw against. I don't think they'll get beat by RB Salzburg, but they could end up with a draw against them at home. And then they play some of certainly the youngsters, some of the youngsters' favorite team to say in this tournament. They go to Brest and play them at their home, at their grounds.
And they're 4th at the moment. Well,
right.
joint 4th. They're on 10 points at the moment. So,
Right.
and again, because even if they didn't get it's top 8, isn't it? Yeah, even if they don't finish in the top 8, they're still in the knockout phase. Again, they don't want that.
Well, if they lose to us and other teams start to make a move, then maybe not. And then maybe they.
Oh, for them to if they got relegated,
they could easily. Wow. They're only 1 point off of falling into that knockout. Into that knockout, or not even knockout, but knocked out.
Yeah.
No, this happens a lot with Madrid in group stages, doesn't it?
Say again?
This happens a lot with Madrid in group stages. It's not unknown for Madrid to struggle in group stages because they're not taking it that seriously.
Right. They know they can. They have that mentality. They can turn on at any time, and
they're not. How to get. They're not.
Plus,
this way
is the way that this is set up. It is set up so that you will get a couple of teams that normally don't get into those knockout rounds in the Champions League, but this is certainly set up for the bigger teams to certainly have plenty of opportunities to find a way to advance as well. And if Real Madrid were not to advance, that'd be a very, very big headline to see. That would probably be the possible nail in the coffin for Ancelotti as the coach, possibly for Real Madrid, considering that there are those out there that have been clamoring for a replacement for him, which is kind of wild to hear.
Mhm.
And
I think
again,
those people know deep down inside, though, that there aren't many replacements available at the moment, are there, for Ancelotti? So
there's not unless they're planning on to get Zidane back or something like that. There's really very few, or maybe try to make a concerted effort to bring in Alonso or something like that. There's very few coaches that will be able to.
Lopetegui's return. Lopetegui, get another bite at the cherry.
Yeah, you're not going to get many coaches out there that can take on the glitz and the glamour, but also the shine that is Real Madrid. It is not an easy place to try to hold on to if you're a coach.
I think Ancelotti has spoken on that before. He's been around so many times and he's done a lot of books. He's done. But he's an interesting guy. He's won. I mean, there's nothing he hasn't won at least twice.
I liked him when he was at Everton. I like reading his shit in the papers and that way.
He was he's been saying before, really about a team like Madrid. It's not about motivating them. It's not really about kind of teaching them things. It's just about keeping them together as a group and directing them, because you've got, like you said, some of the biggest egos in world football, some of the biggest names in world football, which will be a big name in one in a dressing. They've got 4 or 5, 6, and every year they're trying to bring in another one. So it really just managing all those people and all those egos and all those needs. You need something more than just a good coach, because they all have to. The most important thing is that those players have to look at you and respect you. Because if the players in the Madrid dressing room don't respect you, you're going to last about 4.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So you have to have that gravitas. You have to have that kind of thing where a Bellingham and an Mbappe and a Modric will sit there at halftime and take a dressing down from a guy like this. They'll sit there and listen to that guy tell them they're not doing well enough. So you've got to have something. Yes.
I think
the right manager now.
Mm-hmm. I was on. Finish.
No, yeah, sir, you were right. I mean, just the guy out there. I mean, what's the list? What's the list of potential Real Madrid replacements? It's a bloody short one.
It's a short one, certainly. I was just going to add to what you're saying, which is all spot on. I was going to say that unless you're a coach that maybe you're blessed and fortunate to have a run like Slot, or maybe like a run like Company is having with Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich's not an easy team to walk in as a coach for, obviously. Even those that do have some high accolades to their name, like a Tuchel or something like that, who does have a Champions League, victory to his name. It's still difficult for coaches to walk into some locker rooms and demand the respect, but it helps a little bit when you're winning. If you're winning, people
give a guy a chance. They'll give a new guy a chance.
Right. They'll temper it if you're winning.
Won nothing, and if you come in and but you've got to keep that going. Like, say, I was going to say, like, someone who I think an Iraola at Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're probably like, he could probably go in and coach that team, but would the press give him, would the fans give him time? Would the players give him time?
Right. I was going to say similar to
be able to handle their players at this stage? Probably not.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say similar to like Brendan Rodgers and someone that's one outside of the league, obviously, but a coach that comes in expects to have like kind of lead with that, like, the iron fist style thing, be very, very disciplined with his approaches and everything else. And sometimes that's going to fire. And then sometimes you're a team like Real Madrid. I don't think like a team Real Madrid or a team like Bayern Munich or a team like PSG or those kinds of teams. I just don't think it resonates from those kinds of teams, because the players and their egos are just, just way too high and too far above everyone that is going to try to hold their attention and hold their respect. But all well and good. We don't really care too much about their issues and problems, because as well as their certainly issues with their players that they have, we got the report that Vinicius Jr. is going to be absent from the lineup. Like that makes any big of a difference when you could just say, oh, well, Mbappe is going to play. certainly, you know, rather than rather than Vinny, and he probably would have played anyway. But I mean, all the same, it's not that big of a drop off at all, if any. Might even be in some people's mind an upgrade. And then you still have to go against, you know, some very viable players, in whether it's, you know, Camavinga is a name that's always on your mind. Jude Bellingham's always someone that you have to keep in mind as being a threat. Even your you talk about. I watched the two Robbies, because I do watch their show, and big up to the two Robbies, by the way, Mr. Mustel and Mr. Earl, and they were commenting on the Southampton game and about our form and about basically, you know, us as a team, and whether it's a wake-up call, or they're basically saying that, you know, it is a little bit reason to show some type of pause or some type of like concerns, or that that Southampton exposed some of our weaknesses. That's how they put it. And I wouldn't have gone as far as they went with it. I know that, like, it's very interesting because, like, when you're going up against a team like Southampton, that's a team that's set up. They're at home, first off, but not only are they at St. Mary's, but they're set up despite what we thought they would do, and they did a little bit of it. They did try to attack us on the counter, but they set up in a form where they basically had 5 in the back, maybe sometimes 6, and then occasionally would have 5 in the midfield, and basically no one up front, no one really pressing or pushing towards the edge of that of the high line, and is all committed towards making sure that the numbers were mathematically in their favor when it came to the midfield and towards that back line. And Real Madrid's not going to set up like that. You're not going to have to face a team like that, you know, in tomorrow's matchup. So, and despite whatever if they take this game serious or they don't take this game serious, they're going to come out to play. They're going to play Real Madrid football, you know, or at least Ancelotti's vision of what Real Madrid football is. And I think that's something to keep in mind. But it's just interesting. I made a point to make a comment, because I do comment on a lot of people's pages, and I also try to do so because it helps their algorithm. And it also improves engagement. So, like, one of my sole comments was to both of their takes, and they obviously made the take on the Southampton game as being maybe a means of concerns for Liverpool. I think that you have to administer the circumstances with that game and with the team and the place that was played and so many other variables into it to really get an idea of. I said to him, did you raise the same concern when Southampton went to the Etihad and held City to a 1-0, albeit they lost, but 1-0 victory? Did you hold the same concerns? You know, because we had the same possession, held the same amounts, had about the same type of momentum in the game, in both games, in comparison. But yet, it's only a concern with our form when we were playing Southampton at Southampton, but it's not a concern for City, who play Southampton at home. It's just interesting perception. And they did make a Robbo point that I'll get into in a little bit later, but I wanted to just open it up to the panel. Do you agree with the Robbies that there is some type of concern with Liverpool's did Southampton create some type of concern for us? And should we be worried about that concern going into Real Madrid? I'll ask Lee first, then I'll ask the Irishman.
I just think it was good that it was a good fixture for us, like, and like I said, that rustiness that we showed, like, we looked shaky in defence. Hopefully that won't be there on tomorrow night. Hopefully that won't be there tomorrow night, and that's gone now. because we weren't the only ones who suffered from that. Like after the break, where a lot of teams had dodgy performances and dodgy results, City notably. But yeah, I don't think we're going to carry any hangovers from that into this. I'm looking at it from the point of view like that we'll be on our toes more, you know what I mean? Because we weren't at it really. We weren't at it like at Southampton all over the park, and he'll want a good performance this time. And so will the players. It's got nothing to do with what he says to the players. The players will want it from themselves, a good performance, won't they?
How about for you, Brian?
Well, look, I mean, excuse me, we didn't play well against Southampton. We all know that. We all know. Robbo, he's taken a few. Yeah, he said just a few people saying a few different things. Yeah, I mean, we did it yesterday. But then to say, I mean, we can't sit here and say, oh, well, that won't happen again. You know, but nor can they say, oh, well, that will be the same. But you've got to take it. Like, if you don't play well, you've got to say, right, what did we do there that we absolutely must not do again on Wednesday? Like, why were we the way we were in that game? Why did we look, I don't know, disjointed at times? Why did we look like we couldn't break down? I know a lot of, pack defense, he did his job. But yeah, why did we look kind of like the worst version ever? Says it just can't all be. I don't like I've seen it a few times now. It's like, oh well, it was after an international break. I can't. I mean, we've had big games, we've had big wins after international breaks, and we rested two of the main guys. So, yeah, I can understand why they say, oh well, basically they're saying if we play like that against Madrid, we'll be in trouble.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
but it's certain. But the point I was asking too is that it's certainly one different circumstances. Like the variables are such different components or exponents of the equation. Like as in, this isn't a team that's going to sit back in a low block. This isn't a team that's going to be. Well, I don't know if they're not going to look for fouls, look for the easy fouls or the easy dives to try to get calls. But they're a team though that again isn't going to play with the same pretenses as a Southampton. So opportunities that they present are going to be different. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I don't
there's going to be a lot better.
I think our players will perform from the first whistle, like tomorrow. I don't expect any of what happened. Yeah, I mean, yesterday it took a while to get round Southampton, but I don't expect that tomorrow. I don't think we'll see such a bad first half again tomorrow.
How about for you? Did you want to finish what you were saying, or a little bit?
Well, no, they will be. I suppose maybe another point there would be to do with the goals we conceded. And if it's like if we can let Southampton again, I know one of them wasn't a penalty, but they may be thinking, well, if we give up those kind of chances, that's nothing to do with them being defensive. That was to do with our poor defense. So yeah, it's an easy shout to make if we play badly defensively against, but like Slot was saying today, he was saying it's a bit difficult now for him because he was basically saying, look, if Vinny was fit, he was kind of going, I could. He was like, yeah, I could tell you their lineup probably, but now we don't know what he basically said. Now we don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
He pretty much said, yeah, we're not really sure what they're going to do. So if any been playing, we probably could have said, well, they're going to do this, and this. But now it's actually a little bit of a headache for us. So that may keep us on our toes a little bit. So he won't be able to kind of set up a plan. He'll have to be kind of looking out for that team sheet to make a few last minute adjustments, maybe, to see what Madrid put out and say, okay, he's right. This is what we were thinking. So we're going to do that. Or, if we had a plan A and a plan B, I'm sure you'll have all that covered. So yeah, I'm hoping like the fact that because some of their players are out, some of our players are out, we might just get a kind of, a good entertaining game and we beat them 4-2. You know, like that's like hopefully I'd like to see that kind of, because I said because of this little bit of a not being like a final, or I'd like to see both teams open up a little bit, and maybe those kind of key players been out here and there might make it a bit of a. They might have to play someone they don't normally play. Like who are they going to play if they know Rodri and they know Vinny? What are they going to do? They're going to do Mbappe, is it? Who else plays on the right? Or can play on the right?
I think we might see Arda Güler tomorrow.
You might see Arda. Okay, and so who'll be on the other side then? Who else have they got?
Diaz is going to be on that side with Güler. You mean on the right side?
Well, if Güler is on the left,
I do have an idea as to who. I didn't put together a graphic for it, but I do have an idea. I think they'll put Valverde on the right because they've been playing him on the right side.
They definitely could. They definitely could. Yeah.
And then but I mean as in a right back / right wing back, I guess, in a sense, because I think they'll put Diaz in, Brahim Diaz.
Yeah, Brahim Diaz.
Yeah. And I also think that they're going to start Modric in the middle. They'll start him with Camavinga. And then you'll see Jude. I don't know if Jude's going to play in a 10 role or not. That's going to be a big question mark. But
even Slot was saying they could play Jude on the left or on the right.
Yes, that's what I think. I think they're going to play Jude on the left personally. That's where I think they're going to. I don't think he's going to be
Bellingham, Mbappe, and Valverde in a 3 up front.
I don't even think they're going to play a 3. I think they're going to play a 4-4-2.
Oh, play like Bellingham off Mbappe. Okay, and then Valverde, right? Okay,
yeah, then play Diaz off of Güler, and then have like that center pivot of Camavinga and Modric, and then have the back, and then have like Mendy, Rudiger, Asensio, and then Valverde as that back line. And again, they'll probably use them as coming up on the wings.
Yeah, if anyone's worried,
I know that sounds like a pretty wild take. I know that is a wild take. Maybe that's just my that's what I believe they will do. Considering that the options that they have.
Well, no, Militao and Tiggy would be their defenders, right?
I think they might be. I think Militao's out.
Militao.
So right now they have Tchouaméni's out, Carvajal's out, obviously. Militao is out. Rodrigo is out. Vinny Jr. is out.
I knew he was out.
And David Alaba is out too. So they have 1, 2, 3. They have 6 names at least out, listed as being out, not doubtful, listed as being out. So usually when you see out, it means that they're not playing. If it's doubtful, then that's a different story. But out means normally just that, out. Obviously, we got our additions and subtractions, I guess, from the possible possibilities for us. Obviously, we all know that that Ali is not available for this match. Diego, again, this is what they were saying in the Slot was saying, at least in the presser. Excuse me. That Diego's not ready for this matchup either. Chiesa is practicing, but he's not available or is not ready or match fit ready for this matchup either. And that Harvey will not be a part of this game either as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold is listed as doubtful, but he did make a point to make it say that he could, if necessary, give something, quote unquote, if called upon. So that's probably a good shout on the bench, but he won't. But he'll probably be in one of those like Liverpool parkas and just.
Oh, he's definitely not starting. 100%, he's not starting.
Oh, not starting. Yeah, and hopefully not having to go in at all. I don't think that there's any reason why he would have to go in. But I can actually, let's bring up this too, because I have this ready for us. And it'd be good to kind of let me bring in this, because since we're talking about these lineups and these players and the likes, I figured it might be a good idea to, actually bring it to the slideshow. It'd be kind of cool to just give an idea, give us a look at what I'm using as a prediction. Again, I think that they will go 4-4-2, but I could be wrong, I also think that we're not going to be, I personally don't think we're going to be utilizing a 4-2-3-1. So that is something to note. I think we're going to see a little bit more of a 4-3-3 possibly for our lineup going in tomorrow. And I'll explain as I show it. And this is my lineup, by the way. This is not Lee's lineup or the Irishman's lineup. They'll be sharing their ideas or their concepts. And if you want to add your takes on either the lineup I present or even the lineup that you believe is going to be the one that we go with forward with at least, please do consider sharing it in the chat, and I'll bring it up as well. So with that said, this is the predicted lineup that I have going in for tomorrow. What I think is the most notable thing in this is that I know that some might have Jones starting. That's the only one question mark I have in here for myself when I was putting this together. But I did go with Dom all the same. I thought that I would like to see Dom take on the responsibility of being the person that has to track back and do some of the legwork as well. Why I said that it will be interesting to see what we do, and if anything, a 4-3-3 possibly, is because of the midfield that Real Madrid currently have, and even with City too. They have midfields that now are a little bit stretched, if you could say that. As in, Luka Modric is a fantastic player, a little bit up in age, but still the same. They'll have to put together something that is going to be comparable to I think that's the reason why I saw them going a 4-4-2, because I don't think that if they want in a 4-2-3-1 or even a 4-3-3, that their midfield would be able to sustain the pace and level of intensity that our team has. So I also know that you'll notice, that I put Gomez in as our right back. I personally want to see that. Now, this is my personal, I would want to see Gomez have to contend against if this Mbappe or not. I would like to see him be the player that has to contend against Mbappe or whoever they have on that side rather than Bradley, personally. I think that Gomez is a player that we can all trust in, considering we have seen the resurgence of his play. And I think that if anything, without also Simicast is apparently not going to be available for this matchup too. So our left back, right, he's out. So what I wouldn't mind seeing is if we did go with this back lineup and have Gomez on the right and Robertson on the Robbo on the left, then what we could do is be able to just do like a little bit of a player swap, in that we could bring in Bradley if we needed to bring in some fresh legs and bring Gomez over to the left side and to provide coverage on that left side. And that's why, and then that way he's already involved in the game. He's already focused in as to into not having to find his way into getting involved. And also you save some of the legs of Robbo, and then you also bring in possibly a little bit of a spark plug in Bradley on that right back spot. I have Lucho. Obviously, I know I'm part of the Nunez army, but I have Lucho starting at striker because I didn't know
you were a Darwin hater. I didn't realize you hated Darwin. Are you a
So,
Darwin hater? I never knew you were a
there you
Darwin
go.
hater.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay, you're a Darwin hater. Sorry, man, I
Yeah,
never
there you
caught
go.
that.
There you go.
I'll send you one of the T-shirts. Yeah, I'll
There you
send you.
go.
Yeah. I didn't know you were a Darwin hater.
You haven't even
Oh,
got him
okay.
in your squad. He's on the pitch and on the bench.
Oh, you're right.
So
Man, God.
Oh,
he's not on the
that's
pitch or on the
brutal. You
I can
absolutely
be.
hate this guy. You won't even
I
give him
can
a
be.
spot on the bench. My God,
pitch.
that
Oh
is
no.
brutal.
Oh no. That is brutal. Hold on. Brutal.
Is he even allowed on your bus? Is he allowed on? Is he allowed on your bus?
You know what it is. You know what it is. Oh man. Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. I just realized that. That's because you know what? I didn't put 12 players on there and I forgot.
He has to get taxi on his own, pay for himself.
No, for me, that
Times are
ship
tough.
sailed with Darwin. I will no longer defend Darwin unless he does the business. From here on in, I'm going to give him stick.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I like that. I like that
That's
team,
kind
but
of-
I think to me, I don't know if it might be.
I'll bring it back here.
I don't know if Slot will do this, but I wouldn't. I can see I don't know actually if I can see Gomez getting the start, but if he did, I wouldn't be averse
Right.
to putting him in at left back instead of right back. I'm fine with Bradley. Let's give Bradley a go in the big game, see how he gets on. But I wouldn't be adverse to seeing Joey start at the left back at all. I think if Robbo isn't, because it's going to be now like this Simi thing changes everything, because now you're gone from Robbo getting a break to Robbo having to play 3 games in a week. Southampton, Real, City. That's not good for Robbo. That's when you're going to see him probably kind of burn out a bit, get caught out a bit.
Mhm.
So could you make a change tomorrow? I'd be all for Gomez getting a start at left back tomorrow if he feels Robbo isn't able to do 3 in a week and he wants him for City.
Mm-hmm. It's a big question. That's the big question I have. Is that like whether he's going to be? We all know that we have to monitor Robbo's progression towards getting back to that level. But
because question 12 on the question, and this isn't your team. It just we all put our own thing.
Yeah. This is my predicted lineup, not Lee's or Irishman's. By the way, Chad. But again, put in your lineups if you have them. I see Hyler put his in.
Just a quick question: if he was fit, do you think Slot? Do you think Arne Slot would have picked Simi tomorrow? Because I think he would have. I think he would have. Tomorrow. And I think Robbo would have had the night off. Mm-hmm. So why not bring in a Gomez if you were planning to give him the night off anyway? Because Gomez can do that job, and we might need a bit more defensive solidity there.
Well, I think Costas is not going to be available for the City matchup either.
Exactly. So Robbo has to play in that game.
Right. So
that's 3 in a week, man.
But
do it.
But let me emphasize this. I don't know if you watched the presser or not, but Robbo was the person.
He was the guy. I know.
He was the guy that got on stage and actually got to speak. And normally when you
that's the guy.
Yeah. Usually when you're asked to speak, on behalf of the players, chances are
you ain't sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
you ain't sitting on the bench. So there we go. Yeah, I mean it is a lot to ask him to play Southampton, then play Real, because he's going to get a run tomorrow night.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to be playing up against some fast players. So then you've got to go.
That's why I say start him cool, but give him like a good 60 minutes, and then bring in Bradley, and move Gomez.
Joey, and
do it that way. And that way, in essence, why I'm also saying that is because I don't want to have Ancelotti have any bit of saying, "Oh well, we were prepared to see what we saw today." That is certainly not what they expect to see. Is that you to bring in Bradley, bring him in as your right back sub, and then move Gomez over to the left back, like as in they're not prepared for that. And the likes. And I think that obviously we're all confident that Gomez can play both positions very well. whether it's right back or left back. So, and even more so, I mean, if you want to get into, if that's going with just the back line, obviously Ali's not ready yet for service just yet. So Kelleher is definitely going to be getting this start, possibly even the start against City, but that might be still up in the air. Ali might be prepared for that one. But
question number 2, quick interjection. Question number 2. With hindsight, with 100% the benefit of hindsight, could the club have brought Mamrashvili in this season? Could we have made that happen this summer?
I don't think. I think I wouldn't have, because Yardos is such a viable candidate to be a backup as well. And I mean, I think we'll even bring. I put Davies on there because I think we'll even bring Davies. I mean, you could bring up to 12 players on the bench. So,
or was that actually what was the fact that we were allowed? Was the fact that we were prepared to let him stay there for a year one of the reasons we were able to get it done? Maybe.
I think so. I think that has a factor in it as well.
Yeah.
For it going for probably the price that it actually ended up going for. That was probably part of the compromise of
buy your player, loan him back to you for free for a year. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Big up. The streets have arrived, by the way, and big up to Philip in the house. Big up to both of you. Big up to Lee. Lee Wizkid was in the chat. And so was Trap Joe. I don't know if I said hello to Trap Joe. I think Trap Joe's in the house.
I didn't tonight. I didn't see Trap Joe.
No, not yet. Yeah, but Trap Joe and Lee Wizkid were both in the chat. I saw for the Liverpool press conference that was held earlier this morning, and
those things are really annoying, man. I wish they'd find some way of just mic up the reporter.
Oh,
when they're asking a question, like get one of those people with those boom mics.
That's funny that you said that. I didn't put that exact question in there or that exact suggestion in there, but like I did make it like you can Liverpool FC is a part of the chat. They have someone that's actually monitoring the chat, and I did ask him that question to say, hey, just a suggestion. My suggestion was when we play teams such as we're playing a Spanish team, so obviously, or any team from a different country that English isn't their native language, rather than have the reporter say what he's saying and you hear the person, for instance, speaking Spanish, fantastic, but Arnie Slot's got to put on headphones. Why not give us the feed of what he's hearing in his headphones so we can
do that on other press? They do that on other press conferences. I've seen that on loads of other press conferences. So what you can't do? That's real basic tech.
That's basic, not even isn't fancy.
It's basic tech.
Yeah.
You just put in the interpreter, just so Mr. Slot, Right. But even just someone with a boom mic, that can hang it when there's you can just walk around the room.
That's too. No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So when the English guys are talking or the people who speak English, someone can just go to them and they'll all know who's going to be next. So you can put a mic near them because you hear all this mumbling. And then you have to spend the first 20 seconds or 10 seconds of the answer trying to figure out what the question was. What was the question? By the answer.
Right. It's like Jeopardy or something like that,
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? So they're really, I kind of gave up watching them because of that, basically. And these days, within about 20 minutes, someone has already done a video telling you what happened with all the good bits. So yeah, they're fun sometimes. Like Arne Slot made a good joke today, which he probably had prepared, but he's showing a bit of personality. I think Arnie, he's dealing very well with these things we're all talking about. I know Lee was saying it last night about, they're all going to have to answer questions about this now, and it was kind of he did pretty well batting it off. I think he just said, look, like I was saying last night, but he's just going to have to put this thing in a box. Leave it to one side and just get on with the football thing because he can't do anything about this.
No,
and that's kind of what he was saying. He was doing.
Robbo had to answer a question from a reporter who I believe he was from Mexico, right? So but he spoke English. And he asked the question by asking, is Mohamed Salah, is he sad? Is he he's something like that? Like, is his demeanor and the likes affecting the locker room? And what do you think about his contract situation? Yeah. And I'm like, this is why I didn't want to hear. There has been, I was going to save this for later, but I'll ask this now. There was a distinct, I'm trying to think of what paper. They're for a newspaper. I think it's the Anfield Index. They do I think that's for the Echo, I want to say. But anyway, there's one of the stations or one of the channels out there that's affiliated with a newspaper in England. They did a podcast, and in the podcast they were speaking on a couple of different topics. And one of the topics that they spoke on was Mohamed Salah, verbalizing this. And obviously a lot of other content channels ran with that story today as being one of the main things they talked about, especially if they weren't doing the preview. And one of the comparisons they tried to make it to was, and this was actually this might have been on the overlap, but all the same, they were trying to make it the comparison of, it's very noticeable that Jamie, for instance, Jamie Carragher, and his comments are especially in the public right now, didn't come out harshly against Henderson when Hendo made his pleas for a contract public in the journals. But yet when Salah has done it, he's making it a concerted effort to say that he's being I wouldn't say greedy, because that was one of the titles for one of them. I wouldn't call it greedy, but it was being selfish, I guess, is what basically Jamie was saying. Selfish and being inconsiderate of his teammates. And they were trying to say, that's because Jamie's friends with Henderson and all these other things. And that might have some impact on the reasons why he says some of the impact of what he's saying is one way or the other. But let me just say, wait, hold on. I'm gonna land. I'll let you go. This is my last point.
Thinking, wasn't he really, Carragher?
No. Wait, Lee.
Hang on, Lee.
Lee, let me. This is my last part. This is my last point. All right, let me make sure I get my train of thought back. The last point I wanted to say was the last point I wanted to say is that I honestly don't think that Henderson. It's not a like for like situation. That's my point. Henderson needs the journos, needs as much help as he could get to try to get a conclusion for his contract situation. Mohamed Salah, a living legend for most of us, okay, with this team, does not have to bring these things up in the journos. They will get resolved. They will get finalized. I just think that Mohamed Salah is a little bit out of character for him, because players to his level don't have to really get involved in that, especially when it's one thing if your team is saying it, even, or maybe your dad or whatever is the case, or something like that. But it's another thing if you speak out a microphone to say it. That's why I was surprised. But that's all I wanted to get at. Go ahead, Lee. And then Brian, you can say what you wanted to say about that. Go ahead, Lee.
I think Jordan Henderson was probably fair the most from Jamie Carragher's mind when he said that about Mo breaking cover to talk about his contract. We all know it's not a normal thing for Mo. He doesn't do this, and we all know the club's been slow about getting it into his head, they want him to stay. But I wouldn't read too much into this, the Carragher makes more of it because it's Salah. Nah, I don't think so. Okay.
Brian, did you have a take on? I know it was a little bit of a lengthy explanation. I was trying to give a little context behind what some of the fervor was.
Well, I mean, football will make hypocrites of everybody, absolutely everybody, because one day you'll come out and say something, and then the next day your club will do something, and you've got to guess what? You got to pivot. You got to do 180.
Yeah.
Or you stand up and go, I was wrong. I think this, and I still think that. You know, it's hard for people who make their living doing what someone like Jamie Carragher does to kind of maintain a steady course, and especially when, like, people have been mentioning, this isn't about, it's like, oh, did you hear what Carragher said about, or what he said about this guy or said about that guy? It's like, sometimes these people are literally friends, like actual friends whose wives know each other, who go on holidays with each other, like proper mates. So what are they going to do? You know, that's why you can see sometimes they get pushed into these corners and they get a bit squeamish and they say very little. But as soon as someone else comes out and does it, they feel they can have a pop and they feel like they want to go off on one. I mean, there's a lot of angles to this. There's so many angles. Just to me, the only thing I say about it is, like, come out and say it, Mo, if you like, but just wait till next Monday. Just wait until the City game is over, because
because there would have been,
that was all I wanted. I mean, we would have. The only thing I was making a joke about it, at least we didn't have to listen to a week of Trent to Madrid stories, because Mo was taking up all.
Mo was taking over that light.
You know. So, Ancelotti,
and they'll search him out. They'll search out Trent if this story wasn't so relevant right now. It's not saying that they're not. But you remember last time he played. I think the last time he played City, was it last time? One of the times he played City, I think Trent wasn't available for it, but yet he made a comment like before, and that comment got like so much press. I think that was the "this means more" comment or something. I think that was right before that game. Maybe I might be mistaken.
Can I just answer Rasa? Can I just say Rasa Crab? He's saying that Ross is saying there, the man answered the question. Fans need to chill, in my opinion.
I see.
The first part to that, Crab. The first part to that is correct. He answered the question, but he chose to walk over to journalists in the mix zone. Now, some people say, "Oh, he just did this. He just did that." We just need to talk about this for a minute, Crab. The guy came out yesterday that he spoke to. The guy, I've forgotten his name. The guy looks like a hobbit. Everybody doesn't. People like him. Some people don't like him. What's his bloody name? James Pearce, right? James Pearce came out yesterday and he said, I was standing there. He said, I've probably been in 300 mix zones with Mo Salah. Mo Salah does not stop. He doesn't talk to reporters. He said he's done it twice, once after the Champions League and once after a game against Real Madrid or Manchester United. So this is a completely out of the ordinary, completely out of character. This is not just, oh, he answered a question, like they all get stopped and answer questions. He is famous for ignoring journalists and never talking to them. He made a completely out of the blue decision. This wasn't an interview sanctioned with an Egyptian paper or with the BBC or in-house. This was him randomly walking up to journalists in that mix zone where they have no expectation of players stopping. It's just if they happen to stop and get a quote, they are. James Pearce said, people make a joke, oh, well, it's because it's James Pearce. No, he just does not stop. So this is completely out of the ordinary. This is not normal. So the fact that he did this, I know you're saying it's about off the pitch stuff, but it's all, football has never just been purely about what's going on the pitch. Things will affect it. This is news. This is a thing we have to talk about as a channel. But it can't be brushed off as just something that players do all the time. This was a serious breach of protocol. This was massively out of the ordinary for Mo Salah. And everybody that knows him and everybody that's involved in journalism has said this is very, very unusual for him to do that. Jamie
even got flack for pointing that out. Like he said how this is like the third time he's ever done that, you know? So obviously this is something that he was, you know, that's part of the reason why he was saying this is something that was premeditated. He even got flack for pointing that out on some of these.
It wasn't off the cuff. It wasn't off the cuff at all. Yeah, like it's made to look like he just bumped into him. Like it wasn't a planned interview, but he, like I said, this is basically like some guy that literally never does something that most players, they don't have any. They're not. What's the word? mandated to stop. They're not contracted to stop. They can walk. It's the mix zone. It's basically if they stop and give you 2 minutes, good luck.
That's on them. Yeah,
it's on you. There's no obligation on them to stop and talk to any of these people.
Nope.
So the guys, they say there's always people. They're famous as players will be famous. He's sound. He'll always stop and give you a few quotes. That guy don't even bother. He never stops. He's always straight on the bus. Someone like Virgil, he's always good for a quote. Hendo, if they lose, don't ask him. He never stops if they lose, or something like that. Millie always stop you, something like that. But Mane, he never stops. But it's like Mo. It's like, nah, man. They were just looking and going, is he actually walking over here?
I bet.
So that's what I'm saying.
As soon as he stopped in front of that microphone, everyone's heads probably turned and ran straight to hear what he had to say. Because again, if he's only done it twice before, it's obviously something important enough for you to get. He's not going to say, crazy weather we're having and bounce. He's got something on his mind. So it's unlike him. But I just thought that the Henderson comparison was like, it was poor. That was a poor comparison. It's so many different circumstances, like. I get it. Henderson was our captain. He's a valued player, certainly an important player. But Henderson is not at that status nor level of Mohamed Salah when it comes to importance to the team. Let's just keep it 100. Everyone's important, but there are some players on this team that, you have to definitely take notice when they come a calling. Let's see. I'll introduce some of these questions, and I do have we didn't really get to finish the predict the lineups. If you had any other differences in this too, by the way, and then I'll bring in some of the chat's comments as well. Big up KJ and hi Laura. I see you both in the chat, and Bonkers in the chat as well. Hopefully I said hello to everyone that's joining us right now. And I don't know if I said hello to Bernie, but I always make sure we say hello to our Red Jewels. And I think I said hello to Hi Lore, but if not, it's hello to Hi Lore as well. What I was going to say is, so the midfield, are you guys cool with the midfield that I picked, or is there someone in the midfield that you see is getting the start over one or the other? Lee, do you have someone else that you'd like to see in the midfield? I'm assuming that the other than maybe Gomez in the back line is probably the one change maybe that you would have. But
going on the Southampton performance, I think I'd rather have that midfield three, like going on the Southampton performance, because Don got a goal, it might perk him up a bit. You never know. Strange things have happened. And the other two are shoe-ins, aren't they? Like Gravenberch and McAllister shoe-ins for the game.
Okay. How about for you, Brian? And then we'll address the front line. Unless you want to say, do you want to? I mean, you can give us your back line and your midfield. How about that? Just to make sure that you got your picks.
I go with Bradley over Joe. I'd go with this. Yeah, I'd go with the same midfield, and
don't do the front line yet. We're going to go into front line in a second.
Cool.
So, yeah. I just want to make sure you got your back line.
Just Bradley instead of Joe. That'd be it.
That'd be it. Okay. All right. I saw KJ wanted to do Maka, wanted to put in Maka, Grav, and Jones as his choices. Let's see if anyone else gave any other. I showed you Hyler's complete team earlier. I think that's all that I've seen so far. I might have missed it. If I missed it, please do put it in again if you want me to make sure that it gets included or at least mentioned. With that front line, are you guys cool with that one? Brian, we'll start with you, Brian, first this time. Is this the lineup you can see us going with, or do you see us putting in Darwin instead of, Lucho and does Cody start or does Lucho start?
I think he might have Yeah, this a really, really tricky one because Diaz, we know he's got to start because he got arrested last time. We know Mo starts. So what does he do? Does he bring in Gakpo? Wasn't brilliant against Southampton. He's in good form though. Neither was Nunes. So what does he do? What way does he want to play it? That's the big call. Definitely, it's the biggest call of the night is what to do up front. And yeah, I would roll the dice, and I would. Yeah, I'd go the same way. I go the same way as you there with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Diaz, drop Darwin and bring Diaz in that whatever role, 9.5, false 9.
9.5. 9.5.
I want to call it.
9.5. Okay. Lee. 9 3/4 maybe.
I wouldn't benching them, but that is what I'd like to see myself. I'd like to see Gakpo on the left, Diaz giving another trial run in that position that decimated Leverkusen, and Mo on the right. Yeah,
it took a little while for that lineup to get percolating, I guess you could say, right? It ended up being the second half that we ended up seeing them really, really coming to form. But is this the line? So this is the lineup you'd go with too, Lee?
With Joe, yeah, it would be nice for Joe to get that redemption thing in a game against Madrid or Anfield after the last game. Be good to him to banish them ghosts, wouldn't it? I think that's a good lineup. Yeah, I'll give Joe the nod based upon that, that he gets a bit of cosmic footballing justice or something it can banish the memories of that bad game for him. It would be nice from that angle, wouldn't it, Lee?
Yeah, it would be. No, I wouldn't. I know I put the preview to revenge. I was going to either use revenge or maybe preview to redemption. What do you say, Bri?
I'm just saying they're residuals,
Oh yeah.
You win the game, and if those things come along with it, then
then you gladly take him.
Yeah, well, you're not bringing.
You'll see. There is a particular reason why I would like to see Gomez be a part of this team. Let me move on to my predicted score and scorers. I went all in with my Gomez pick. And I have Gomez scoring. I have why not Dominic scoring as well, And I also have Salah scoring in this matchup for a 3-1 victory.
Joe's had a few sizes lately, hasn't he? He had them too.
He's had his eye on goal here or there. Yeah, here or there. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see if he gets it. It will be more difficult, obviously, because I don't think he won't. Even if he got to start right back, he wouldn't be taking corners. Does that mean that he'll be involved in the actual in the fray when corners come in? That is possibly not going to happen. They might have him be on that back line, but if he does get involved, that's why
last man back.
Yeah, I would have him maybe get involved by getting ahead on one of those corners and slotting home his first Liverpool goal. I think that would be perfect. You talk about redemption, that would be perfect redemption. That would be something that you could hang your hat on to say, being a part of a possibly 3-1 victory. That's what I have it as. What is your scores and scorers for the game, guys and girls and gals, I should say, ladies and gentlemen in the chat? It's a more appropriate way of putting it. And what was your ideas of your predicted score and scorers in this game. Lee, what is your score and scorers?
I'm going to go for a 2-0. It's a nip and tuck game, and there's lots of chances in both halves, but we score 2 of the chances and win 2-0.
Okay. Who you got scoring?
I will go for Cozy and no. Hang on. Cozy and Gravenberch. It's
Cody
a
and
double, yeah, a Dutch double sinks Madrid.
Okay, okay. How about for you, Brian?
I think it will be a. I think it'll be 3-3. I think it'll be a 3-3 game, and Mo will score twice, and Virgil will score once.
So you said, say one more time. I'm sorry, I was just answering Hyla's question. You said 3-2?
No, I don't.
Oh.
3-3.
3-3.
3-3.
Okay.
3-3.
Mm-hmm.
With Mo to score twice and Virgil to score once.
Okay. It's a lot of goals, yeah. So that is a big output. Maybe I had 3-2 because I saw KJ has got 3-2.
I hope it's going to be I just hope it's going to be one of those games, you know.
Yeah.
One of those games.
KJ's got 3-2. Bernie's got 2-1. Diaz and Verge to score. Bonkers has a 3-0. Diaz, Nunez, and Salah. So basically our front line. That just got it 3-2 for him as well. Same as KJ. And Philip has it 2-1 with Salah, BBD, and he even provided that. Well, Vinny Jr.'s not going to play, so you have to replace that with maybe Mbappe, or actually, you know what? If you want to hear my one goal scorer, it'll be Arda Güler. It'll be Güler to get the goal against us. Let's see. Arsenal's up 1-0 at Sporting. Okay, that's not news that we would like to hear, but all good. Appreciate it still, Bonkers. No hate towards it. And just not loving on the results so far. KJ says, yeah, he honestly sees a 3-3 draw as well. Head says 3-3. Heart says 3-3. Oh well, okay. Which one said 3-2? That's more like it. Oh, 3-2. Okay, yeah, I got you. Which one is it? The heart says 3-2, I guess. The head says 3-3. And Hash has said 2-1 with Cody and Lucho scoring. Okay. Question to the chat. We need to address why Liverpool play the first 45 minutes so bad. We need to provide some decent coffee.
You can't. What the fuck? That's no. Don't. Is that you talking about putting antifreeze in coffee? Don't put antifreeze in coffee, man.
Defroster mixed in it. Is that what that is?
Is that what you do in Germany in the winter? You put antifreeze in your coffee?
I hope not.
Jeez. That doesn't sound legal for a start.
I don't think that is. That is not advised in any
no.
bit of food.
Children do not put antifreeze or defroster or whatever the hell that is.
In anything.
No. Antifreeze is only to be drank neat.
Exactly. And by those over 21.
No.
Jesus. I know it's cold over there, but you put antifreeze in the coffee? Wow.
No. Yeah, antifreeze only in your car. That's all. And let's see. Head says 3-3. Okay, Heart says 3-2. Got you, KJ. And also, Red for Life says 2-1. 2-1. Liverpool win. Mo and Maka to get the goals. That'd be decent. That'd be really decent. we do need to overcome this Madrid's slump, I guess you could say, in results against the team. And okay, Barcelona is leading their game. Big up, big up. Lee is hardcore, by the way. Bernie giving you a shout, by the way, Lee. That he is hardcore scouts in the house. Scouts in the house.
Yeah, but drinking antifreeze neat makes you vomit.
Oh gosh. Okay, I don't know if he's talking from experience.
No,
But,
it was in a film. It was in a film. I've never done it myself, but it made me laugh.
Okay.
The famous film. Oh, it's a big scout thing with it. George Harrison set up the film company. They made The Life of Brian. It was handmade film.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
And
Brian.
one of the other big films was With Nail and I. It's about two unemployed actors, Richard E. Grant and Paul McGann. It was a scouser. And With Nail, the terminally ill drunkard, he drinks antifreeze in the film, and it's quite funny.
Okay.
Because got no booze.
Each their own. I'm sure it's got its comedy.
Oh no, the monologues in it. The monologues in it are brilliant. He's this clever, posh, drunk who hasn't made it as an actor, but he's always getting pissed and going on and that. It's one of the greatest films ever made.
Oh, it is. It is. It's one of the funniest. It is. It's one of the funniest films ever made. Without that, it's one of the best.
Handmade films. George Harrison set up to make Life of Brian because Monty Python couldn't get it funded once the powers that be found out it mocked religion. But that was the company he set up, and that was one of the other extra goodies we got from that film company, Handmade Films. Time Bandits was the same as well, I think.
Time Bandits is one of my favorite
That was
movies.
Terry Gilliam.
Yeah,
that was
Gilliam. I know.
The
funding came from George Harrison.
Yeah, but Gilliam made it. Yeah, because they were all part of that Monty Python crew and all that. Yeah, that was all. They were all that gang. Yeah, Time Bandits.
Yeah, it became a thing.
But
where
it wasn't.
Stars would put some money in, to get films made. They wanted to see.
Okay.
Tax write-off for George Harrison. Yeah.
Looks like I did ask for a weather report for tomorrow, and I see Brian has said that it's nothing out of the ordinary or nothing crazy is lined up for tomorrow. So that's good to see. So we should get. Is it going to rain tomorrow though? Does it say it's going to rain? I know it's England, so
it's Liverpool in November, so probably yeah.
Probably yeah. Okay. Always fun time. I don't know what that's like, but okay.
The Irish Sea Riviera, as they don't call it.
I got you. Yeah, we don't get much rain here in this time of the year. So, but that's cool. It's really cool. Good to see. So we probably will get a nice little bit of open, nice, all things considered, nice weather. For
Manchester is known for its rain. That's one of Manchester's big things. It's rainy.
Yeah. It always rains in Manchester, literally all the time. It never stops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our weather isn't that bad. We get a lot of rain and all that rubbish. We get the same stuff they do. They do in Manchester here, but we don't get rain as often as them. So that's one bonus.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it breaks over the Pennines, you see. So it dumps all the rain on Manchester. But you see, Ireland is a shield. We take basically the full brunt of the Atlantic. There's nothing between America and Ireland. Literally, it's just the Atlantic. So all the weather rolls into Ireland. And we're literally right in front of Liverpool. So the weather we get the weather first. So we're like a little fucking buffer zone for that side of England. So they never get it. They never get it that bad because we take the brunt because we're much tougher than they are. That's why they couldn't conquer us. So there you go. Couldn't stand the weather, Lee. You couldn't take the weather. Just like Real Madrid won't be able to.
It's going to be between 1 degree Celsius and 7 degrees Celsius there.
That's 6 degrees, Henry. That's be grand. That's lovely and warm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's typical. This is Northern Europe, man. It's the winter. This is fine as long as it's not snowing. You're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, that's one of the
Pretty much
funny
good to go.
things in England. Like,
City losing yet?
come to a
City losing yet?
standstill, like with a bit of snow. It's not like
2
we've
inches of
not
snow
had
and the country
snow
ground still
before.
holds.
Like, we've probably,
Still 0-0 with City. I just wanted to read. Do you mind, 12th man? Have we talked about City? Are we going to mention City again later or something?
Yeah, we can talk about them now.
Yeah, because there was a great quote from Jonathan Wilson. This may take me about 5 seconds to read. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, and he's writing about City this season, right? He says, and yet something is different. According to Opta, City have had the third easiest run of fixtures of any club from the start of this Premier League season. Yet if they lose at Anfield next week, and Liverpool are the side Guardiola has lost to second most often, they will be 11 points behind the leaders. The aura has gone. Opponents are sensing blood in the water. This is like Chelsea in 15-16, or Manchester United under David Moyes, or Liverpool in the early 1990s. Sides no longer face them seeking merely to avoid embarrassment. They believe there is a chance of a result.
wise words, wise words.
Yeah.
The third easiest run of fixtures of any club this season, according to Opta. It's not like they've had a tough start. It's not like they haven't played, or they played all the big teams. And like he says, they'll be 11 points behind the leaders if we beat them. And the aura has gone.
It's a tough place for them to get results. I'll tell you that much. Liverpool has always played well against City at home, at the Etihad. We've had a couple different victories there, but they have been far and few in between as well. So there are two teams that normally hold home court when it comes to playing each
Since
other.
that Chamberlain goal, do you remember that Oxlade-Chamberlain goal?
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to then, I think. We've been breaking, we've been going toe to toe with them since then. We've never rolled over for them. I think they bet us 4-1 once, I think. And that was
they did. They did.
Yeah, but they gave us a bit of a hiding in one game. But other than that, it was always 3. Not going to say it was always 3-2, but they always felt like that kind of game. So, Jonathan Wilson there was the writer, and what he's saying about teams smell blood in the water, and that just cannot be denied. People are saying, "Oh, we're overdoing this, we're overdoing that." I get the idea for temperance, but sometimes you have to see the writing on the wall, the reality, what's in front of you. It's not being arrogant to say such and such.
I hope some sort of luck is on our side as well, like next Sunday, because it's you a real fucking beating, aren't they? Like, they got one off Spurs, but it'll hurt more off us. Like, God, I had something to say then, I bloody forgot it. Something that was quite funny as well. Shit, what was it? Sorry, lad.
Okay. No worries.
It's gone.
Just like Walker's.
Yeah, no worries.
I was going to say, indulge me. I hope Pep employs some hilariously ineffective new formation to try and deal with us.
Haaland in midfield,
because he's only got
Walker up front,
like as his one DM now. I hope he comes up with some new one, which is like, I don't know, pick any numbers you want, but I hope it fails miserably. And I would like it if they were in the game for a while and then we smashed them.
They still have a whole 45 minutes at least to
I don't want one where it's a 90 minutes decimation of them. I want one where they're in it for a bit and then the inevitable just happens and we kick fuck out of them.
I'll take anything.
I think the worst loss since the whole oil era of City was probably 2017 when we lost 5-0 at the Etihad. That was probably the worst loss that we ever had.
That's pretty bad.
That was bad. There's been some 4-0s in there too, but we've had some big wins against them too, either in the Champions League or even in the league. Yeah.
Just in the kind of the Klopp v Pep thing. But it says like he said in the article, they've only ever lost more games against one team than us.
No, well, 2015 was that? I don't know if that was that Klopp and Pep too.
Probably all comps as well. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean we did beat 2015 we beat them at City 4-1. We actually did that was a big victory for us. 2015.
That formation he falls back on, I just hope it fails dismally for him. Like, I know the malady lingers, as they say.
Right. But there's very few times that we really get a big victory against them. Or vice versa. That game, 2015, was when we did get a big win at the Etihad. That was pretty big. For a 4-1 victory at the Etihad, that was a big win.
Yeah, we need to do one of them on Sunday or on Saturday.
Or whole court. Yeah, but I mean, we've beaten them at home.
Let's turn the screw. Let's turn the screw on them. Let's properly beat them.
I would like to have a 5. Well, the reason why I brought up that loss, 5-0 loss to the City is because I would love to see a 5-0 win.
But I'd even take 12 man. I'd even take like if it was a 2-0, but it was like an utter domination, where the commentators just like, wow, that was like, the 5-0 would be amazing. But I'd even take one where it was just like, but if we completely control the game, and it was like, yeah, they had their chances or whatever, but the City looked like a kind of a normal side. Just that's what I'd like to see is psychologically beat them. Yeah, the more goals, the better. But to actually go there and not even give them a sniff, not like a 4-3 classic, right? Not even give them, like, beat them with like possession, beat them with passes, beat them with all those things.
Yeah,
I think they're there for the taking.
I think he was there for 2015. Yeah, 2016. That's when Pep started. Yep. So I don't know what's the worst loss Pep has had against us. Against Jurgen in the Jurgen Pep era. Does anyone know? I don't. I'd have to really think about that one. I'd probably say the Champions League game that we beat them 3-0 was pretty harsh for them.
Yeah, I'm tired of settling.
Or the fact that we won 5-1 on that. We won 5-1 in aggregate, I think, that year too, right?
Yeah.
I'd take any victory against them, like a 1-0 would do, to keep our season going. But to put on a special performance and a special display, that would really, turn the screws on them, wouldn't it? A bit like
with Mo in this kind of form, Lee, you can see it. You can see it, man. Like, I think what Jonathan Wilson was saying in that article about clubs can smell blood in the water. Mo Salah is a shark, if ever there was one. He'll smell blood. Let alone, no matter about City, he'll be looking, who am I up against? That Guardiola guy, he's having a nightmare this season. That guy, that Rico Lewis, that guy here, Akanji, he's in and out. These are all over the place at the back. I think him alone he'll be licking his lips looking at City, waiting, like you talking about revenge with Madrid. We have a whole bucket load of revenge for Man City.
It's been
merely for existing and stealing all these titles.
Been set up big time, like, hasn't it, as Pep's chance to right all wrongs and show that, we can override a few bad results. So it's massive for them, isn't it? Like, to do something.
It is massive. It is massive. I think I'm hoping, like you said earlier, I'm hoping that Pep, one of the few things that Pep gets criticized about is sometimes overthinking things. I know that his
Back
last
in the
lineup
early
that he
days,
put
yeah.
together was that?
Oh, definitely back in the early day in finals, he'd just totally just be like, hang on, what's he doing there?
Right.
Very much,
Right.
yeah, over trying to be way too clever.
Way too clever
Funny,
for his own
yeah.
good. I mean, like, look,
Put
the
him
team
here,
that's
him
lost
there.
5 games in a row, they're going against a team that they probably should be able to beat today. But I know Slot's going to be having an eye on that game as well. But, like, it's also a situation where them going into the Prem
Yeah,
and
still
with the idea that they don't normally do well at Anfield and that it could amount to, if they lose, being a 11-point gap between them and us. That's certainly going to weigh heavy. And as of late, I know that we haven't really, as I think Reels and Jared put in there, he says last season we outplayed them at Anfield, but we're not clinical. And they got away with a draw, which they did. And we also drew, I want to say we drew there too. I think we drew twice with them last year. I think so. I need Cal here. Cal's good at the remembering games. Cal from Copper, she's really good at remembering games, the scores, who started, all the lineups, and everything else. I think it was 1-1. I think we drew both games last year 1-1 because that was the game that Trent went like this with the incredible strike from outside the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong or am I right on that one?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Ended up tying it towards the end of the game. That was a great moment for him too, and all of us.
If you put something in the private chat, just let me know, will you? Because I'm watching it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I did put something in the private chat, but I didn't. Not yet.
Yeah, I replied to it. I replied to it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll ask this difficult question.
Can I ask? Can
Okay.
I just quickly to Lee?
Right.
I know Lee, you like this. I know Lee in particular liked it. It's just a quick little one bit from the minute by minute thing. It says City, it's not really happening for them. Feels like their best football is some way off. On the bench, Guardiola and Juanma Leo are both muttering away. Juanma looks a bit like Kevin Keegan. That's brilliant. That's all that's going on in this game. That's about it. It's just like it's a 0-0 game. He's like, bloke on the bench looks a bit like Kevin Keegan. This is a minute by minute. Like, wow,
I do have a very very difficult question.
Apparently they're playing like shit, man.
Yeah, not surprising. Because I had a question, considering that I saw someone comment on Nations League on the overlap, and they were talking about, this is the one with the fan like the fan channel content creators are on, and he was talking about how Nation League needs to be scrapped, and how Nations League is just this and that, and I'm like, I understand what he's trying to say. I don't agree with it, tell you the truth. I know that this might sound wild and weird, but like, you're going to get those games. There's going to be if it wasn't Nations League, then it would just be a friendly.
Was that guy English? But just in case, was he English?
I think so, yeah. The majority of them all on the overlapper are English.
No, but the fan guy, whoever it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who it was. I'd have to look back at the episode to tell you exactly who it was or what team he represented. But it was just one of those things where, like, I get it. I even made a comment about it. That was my comment in the chat, I believe. It was something similar to. Let me pull it up here. I made a point of copying my comment. Nation League is better than an exhibition game because that would be your alternative. Like, as if there wasn't Nations League right now, then you would just be watching. We would have just watched some exhibition games, some friendlies, because internationals are going to happen regardless, So The international games are going to happen regardless. So at least maybe the games matter in a loosely put way. They do matter somewhat more than just some international game where you're watching all these players that you've never heard of before. You're actually getting to at least watch some of the players that actually do represent your country. And it made me think of this. This is the question I would pose to the chat. Please answer one or the other. And I'm going to ask this to the panel too. Would you rather have a Champions League title or a World Cup for your home nation if you had to choose between the two? The football genie pops up and says, I have two choices for you. You can either have the Champions League title for your Liverpool Reds, or if you're representing for someone else in the chat, for whatever team you represent, or a World Cup for whatever is your home nation. What would you rather?
Football genie K-Mac? Is K-Mac the football genie? I can imagine K-Mac, with the little thing popping out.
Yeah.
I just pictured K-Mac popping out of it when you said the football genie.
K-Mac would probably
the long hair and the turban.
Yeah,
and
you'd be like, no, your answer's not good enough. I'm not granting your wish, and go back to the bottle.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want like the Wicked Witch of the West or something. I don't want to be GTV or something with his his multiple allegiances, but you can't trust people like that.
Right.
Right. No, there'd be some kind of
I mean, could you imagine it, Bernie? Ireland winning the World Cup? Wow.
Well, I can answer for us, because obviously this is utterly dependent on what country you're from.
Yeah.
We're never going to win our World Cup. We've got loads of Champions League, so we had a shot, right? We wouldn't have won it, okay, in 2002.
Right.
But we had, given the standard World Cup thing, we could have gotten to a quarters or a semis, given a decent draw.
Okay.
With Robbie Keane, Roy Keane, Damien Duff, given we had probably one of our best ever sides in 2002. Players at their peak. So we were looking at that tournament, go, do you know what, lads? We could do okay in this. We could do well. When we even got to a quarter final, the country went mental. Like, so, yeah. I mean, if the idea of Ireland winning a World Cup would just be insane. Yeah. So I would take that. I mean, if Liverpool had never won a Champions League and Ireland never won a World Cup,
if you were like a Spurs, or maybe if you're a Gooner,
it still wouldn't be a different story. It'd still be Ireland winning the World Cup. Yeah, but it'd still be Ireland, because there might be some chance in the future that your club actually does achieve that. But yeah, because I mean, Italia 90, especially, is basically one of the biggest ever cultural things that's happened in this country. It went beyond football. We still have songs. There are songs that went to number one, at least 2 or 3 different songs that went to number one just off the back of that tournament. All about it. It was one of the highlights of us as a nation. And especially to be England along with. So that kind of thing that happened in Ireland, it would blow the roof off the place, man.
I bet it would. I know.
It absolutely would. Man.
Especially since, like, you just
it'd be
said,
party. It'd be take 3 months off, party for 3 months.
Yeah, it would be a dream.
Yeah. Nobody's
Either
getting
way,
any
it would be a dream, obviously.
Not getting any bread, not getting any milk.
Real dream. Like, as in, we've all lived that dream of seeing Liverpool win a Champions League. But for some of us, seeing a World Cup is probably less of a likelihood of it happening, other than by a genie giving us granting us a wish. I was just curious. It made me think about it, because like the National League, it was like one of those slippery slopes that once I started thinking about the Nations League answer that I had, then it made me start thinking about, would you rather win a Champions League title, or would you rather win a World Cup title?
What I'll do is, 12-man, I'll find you and I'll scan them. I'll find a good one. I'll find you a good Italia 90 documentary. Not too long. I'll find you a good one, maybe a half-hour one or something.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you, because it's worth a watch. Like, because it'll just show you literally
what it meant,
how big that was in this country.
Yeah, what it meant. I can only imagine what it would.
Yeah.
Some things are just different when it comes to like the situations. I know what you mean.
Considering it isn't even the biggest sport here.
Yeah,
it isn't even the biggest sport in this country, and the country went nuts for it.
Absolutely, it's amazing.
I remember Ireland's appearance in the '90 finals was a big thing here. By extension, because there's a lot of Irish people here in Liverpool, like it was a big thing here as well. Like,
football. What would it be? Football's coming home, right? Isn't that the song?
Oh yeah, that was.
That was later on.
Yeah, that was John Barnes. Yeah, in New Order. Yeah.
No, that was Frank's. Football's coming home was David Baddiel and Frank Skinner.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, World of Motion. World of Motion was.
Yeah.
Was the other one?
That was World of Motion. That actually was a decent song because New Order were involved.
Oh, okay.
I'd gone on to Rill for the first time in my life that I got to go on holiday. I was 16, and we went to Rill in North Wales, and that was in the charts then. And England in the World Cup when we were on holiday in 1990. Do you know what? None of my mates then were into football. I was the only one that was into football. None of my other mates were into football. Like, but that's just life, isn't it? Like, even in Liverpool, loads of people.
Yeah, that video. You might remember. You might remember it. It's like a black and white video. It's the two guys from New Order were just kind of standing there with their hands in their pockets. And John Barnes is just behind them on a pitch in an England kit, just doing keepy uppies. They're just standing there being like really cool, looking at the camera with their sunglasses on. It's in black and white.
Okay.
And Bernard Sumner, the singer from New Order's got his England kit on. The other guy doesn't, I think. Yeah, Cooper, the other guy. And then Barnes, he's just in the background, just doing keepy uppies in an England kit. It's like
Summer of Love, the Summer of Love, 1990.
Yeah, I mean they don't do it anymore. It's dead now. It's a thing that has I'm not really sure what I think Keith Allen kind of killed it.
That year, so it was known as the Summer of Love, 1990.
Let's keep it PG. Let's keep it PG.
By the way, anyone watching the City matchup? I'm not in the background at all, but what did they get a penalty on? City. Oh my gosh, that's how they just scored their goal.
They've stopped doing the World Cup songs. I'm not really sure what year they did stop, but they used to be a really big thing, like a World Cup song.
For your nations or for
and the FA Cup song. Like every team back in the 80s and the 90s, every team that got to the FA Cup final, they'd release a song. Like it'd be a charity single, basically, you know. But they stopped.
Yeah, I remember.
I did. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Bernie said.
I remember Man United songs when Fergie took over and they first become any good. They were awful Man United songs. We did have the Anfield rap, which it was something different. And non-Liverpool fans don't like it and they'll say it ain't good. But it was groundbreaking at the time, for a football song, because it was usually just the squad stood there trying to look at a camera singing, I don't know, some weird song from a musical or something, and all of a sudden.
No, that was brilliantly. No, that was brilliant. That was literally it was. They were always the worst things ever. They were always famously terrible, and then Liverpool came out with something nobody was expecting, and it was
some Irish fella called Roddy Doyle. I think he's a Man United fan, and he was saying how bad it was. That's because you're a Man United fan, mate. Don't be saying that. Classic. He was on Room 101. He used it in Room 101. That's what Roddy Doyle, his name was.
Yeah, he's famous Irish.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, exactly what I was waiting to say, but KJ said it as well in the chat. They have a song. I mean, the World Cup had a song. It was by Shakira.
Oh no, I mean the squad, the team would sing a song.
Team songs. I got
the team would sing a song. Yeah, the team would all get together in a record, and they'd be forced to sing this song. Yeah, it had to be like the squad, and they'd all be filmed. Usually, in the video would usually be the squad in the studio recording it because they could never get. But they were so bad. Bernie wants me to read out one of her comments. I'm not sure if it's the slot will be up
by the way,
tomorrow.
4-1 against Young Boys. 3-0. Sporting is losing to Arsenal at halftime. As we said before, City is currently up. They're still working towards halftime, but currently up 1-0. 1-0 Inter over Leipzig. Bayern Munich is up 1-0 over PSG, and that game is in Germany. But it's a very important game for PSG because if they get another loss, they probably will not make it into the next round. Leverkusen have a 3-0 lead over RB Salzburg, and Barcelona is up 1-0 at halftime over Brest.
Okay,
go ahead.
On my list,
I'm not sure which Bernie. Yeah,
I think it might mean this one.
There's the one about Slot. I read all your comments, Bernie. Of course, so it's not my. But as I think she said, sorry. I bought the Wolf Tones. You'll Never Beat the Irish CD. I taught my Scouse nephews and nieces to sing it. You see, that's it. Like we had bands of the quality of the Wolf Tones writing tunes around that time. It was just football mania. Like there's a whole albums of like Irish songs from Euro 88. Euro 88 to Italia 90 is like the golden era.
Yeah.
that's when but like 2002 was probably as good a team. Like I said, we had Duff, we had Roy Keane until he wasn't there anymore, and Robbie Keane and all these other boys that were good, given, done, these kind of players, Finn and Ian Hart, solid players, Carsley. So we could have done something, but yeah, it'll never happen. It'll be probably it could be 100 years. It could be 50 years before Ireland are even contention to win a World Cup again. So,
would you walk 500 miles?
Yeah, nice.
Oh, and I'd walk 500 more.
There you go.
No, that is good though, isn't it? Like, it's a document.
Well done, Brian. Well done.
Like a little time capsule in it, like from when it was from. But yeah, stuff like that. The one that made me laugh was Germany's song for the 1994 World Cup with Village People. Does anyone remember that one?
Village People have a World Cup song?
Yeah, Germany had
the Germans.
Done it with Village.
The Germans had the actual Village People.
You were saying because it was in America. It had America in its name, the title. It was something like "I Want to Live in America."
This is what I'm talking about, lads. We used to get things like that. We used to get things like that. Now they're all too proud and too, We used to get the German team teaming up with the Village People to do a World Cup song. Bring that shit back.
I don't think I've ever,
we want to see the England team combined with do a tune with the
I never heard that.
That song was bloody terrible before the Anfield rap. The Liverpool ones, they were dead. Like, they were all the bastards same in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's just the squad standing there, like, in front of the camera singing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right, Bernie.
It means nothing. A song that basically means nothing to them. And I think I remember the one for the 1982 World Cup for England. It was called, what was it called? I remember how it went in my head. It was that funny. Ron Greenwood was England manager, and it went, fucking hell. Oh, yeah. We are Ron's 22. Hear the roar of the red, white, and blue. This time, more than any other time, this time, we're getting it all together to do it right. It was called We're on Our Way, England. Phil Thompson was captain of the England team, actually, and Keegan missed some header, but he didn't play for us then, but he missed some header, and we didn't go through to the second round. Didn't lose a game at the 82 World Cup in Spain, but we went out.
Yeah.
This time, I know the tune. This time,
more than any other time. This time we're on our way. Yeah, this time.
I can remember the video with Shilton in it.
yeah. That was the one because it was a kid then, and you remember it more when you're the kid because it's funny the words. Oh, it's okay. What's going on?
Yeah, the funniest ones were actually, to me, they were all like they were at the FA Cup final ones, because everyone would have to do one. You know, these random teams back then in the 80s, man. Yeah, these guys, they were machos. Like, I don't go, and then you'd have like those two guys that were like, oh, they're secretly really into it. And the
Yeah.
next thing you know, you have Chris Waddle and Glenn Hoddle forming a band to
Mhm.
release Time with Lights. Because
Oh,
they were
mate,
like, yeah, I fancy being a pop star. You know, we recorded an FA Cup
I
final single.
watched that
Fancy
not
being a
long
pop
ago.
star.
Like, I had a few drinks, like,
It's
and
not a
that.
bad tune.
I watched
Diamond
that.
Lights isn't a bad tune, man.
Lights, yeah.
It's not a bad tune. I mean, they didn't write it or anything, but it's demonstrably not a bad tune. I mean,
It
the
was
whole
Glenn
thing is
Hoddle.
bad.
The video, if you look at the video, Glenn Hoddle loves it. He's rare in the moment.
Yeah, he totally. Chris Waddle says that.
Hoddle, yeah, I'm not so
He
sure.
didn't want to do it. Waddle
Yeah.
didn't want to do it. Hoddle did. Hoddle was like, no, we can be like Duran Duran or something. You know, okay, Glenn. Yeah, Hoddle was big into it. But no, it's actually not a bad tune. You could listen to it.
And yeah, the Aussie Ardila song from Spurs were a good cup team when I was a kid. They were not always, but often in the FA Cup final.
Yes.
Yeah, there was always in it.
Compared to
Just
Spurs
looked it
were
up.
always in it.
Looked it up.
Spurs
There
in the
was
final, so they always had a song, and it was
Yeah, the Aussie Ardila is one. He goes,
Yeah,
we're on the way to Wembley or something. He mispronounces it. That was the whole
in the
joke. He
cup
couldn't say
for
Wembley.
Tottenham.
Oh yeah, in the cup for Tottenham. Yeah, he couldn't say Tottenham, so he said Tottenham. And that was the only line he had in the song, was to basically take the piss out of his inability to pronounce Tottenham properly. That was basic. That was like, that's the 80s in a nutshell. FA Cup final songs. They're taking the piss out of foreigners.
Pleasures of
pretty
life.
much.
Pleasures of life.
Yeah. They need to bring it back, man. But they're all too precious these days. They'd be all bringing in Drake and people like that to do it for me. They'd be all too precious to take the piss
I was
out
going
of
to
themselves.
ask you, can you name the World Cup that had the most official songs and anthems by FIFA?
Oh, I thought they all had to have one each. So
They all have one. They all have at least one.
Oh, so some may have had more than one. Oh, well, yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. The most.
Could you name the host nation that had the most?
Well, see, that's also the other thing about Italia 90 is that it spawned Nessun Dorma, which became like a global hit for 10 years. That was another thing. The Italians did that World Cup so well, man. Stylish, classy. Because the difference in TV between 86 and 90 was huge. It moved on so much. I don't know. I would say USA 94.
It's a good show. It's a good show. They only had one, though. A quote-unquote official song and anthem.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant combined with all the teams. I mean, the most official. Right, okay. Sorry.
You know how like you have an official song, like as you said.
Okay. I thought you meant for every team.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, right. So the
Italiana is like the official song for 1990s.
I'll go with the South Korea one then. Japan, South Korea, 2002.
South Korea, that's a good shout too. It's a very good shout. They had three. They had three.
Well, yeah,
they are not the number one, but they are tied for number two.
I'll take it.
Who do you think, Lee? If you can take a guess if you want in the chat too, if you like. What host nation for the World Cup has had the most official anthems?
There was the World Cup
official
in
songs /anthems by
the other one, Lee, wasn't there? That was in other countries.
One. Host nation for the World Cup, most songs.
Yeah, like as you know, we just talked about. For instance, we were saying how I like the song by for South Africa. It was Shakira sang Waka Waka. Like this one's for Africa.
To be honest, I don't know. It was only when I was a kid that I used to know them, like, and remember them. You know.
Every time, but you heard it every time they went to commercial, or every time, every time.
Yeah, I'd say it was America. Must be America.
No.
USA 94.
No. I guessed that first because I thought there was a different
America
question.
had one song.
Yeah, it's the host nation. So then I went to Japan and South Korea because there was 2 countries and they have 3, but that's only
They have
second.
3 songs. I'll tell you the 3 songs for Japan and South
So there's
Korea
got to
when
be
they
another
hosted
team.
was Boom by Anastasia. And it was also Let's Get Together Now. It was like Voices of Korea and Japan. And then
it's a
they had
classic.
the
It's a
anthem
classic. Look it up.
by Vangelis. He's a Greek musician.
Oh, Vangelis.
Vangelis.
Oh,
Vangelis.
yeah.
So like those 3 songs were the official anthem / songs for the South Korea Japan.
Oh, I have an idea. Okay, if Lee can't guess, can I have like a backup guess?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Even though I've already had 2, but only
Mhm.
one was in I knew what the parameters were.
Mm-hmm.
So Lee, have you guessed one yet? Like, what was the one? You know, the World Cup that was in more than 2 countries.
It's a shot in the dark. This for me, like, so what countries have a lot of songs then?
Well, think different languages. They'd have to have one for like a different. So, like South Korea and Japan. That's why I thought, well, it might be them because that's 2 countries, right? So they don't have to have at least 2 songs. One for the Koreans,
Yep.
one for the Japanese.
Yep.
But there
Yep.
was also a third one, apparently. It's for probably the rest of the world, I suppose.
Yep.
So what other country would have needed to do that, basically? Or what other World Cup which was shared amongst, I don't know.
I must say I like music from all around the world, but
This one's a tough one. We only have like about 10 minutes left of the show, so let's try to bring it in, Lee. Let's try to bring it in. Where are you landing with? Yeah, what country you gonna take a stab at? And in the chat, if you want to guess too, you can guess. I'll tell you if you're right in the chat. I'll giving it away. Which country you going with? And then that way Brian can get his third guess in.
I'm just thinking the obscure place. Oh, Russia. Yeah, Russia seems like a good one.
Russia.
Russia's got like loads of people with different languages.
Exactly.
Over 100 different ethnicities in Russia. And that's,
is that what you would have gone with too? By the way, Brian.
Yeah.
No.
It's that big.
You want to? Russia's your guess, okay? Do you want to give a guess, Irishman, before I give away the answer?
For some reason, I think France.
France. Ooh. Something France had. No, France had 2.
See, I knew they'd have more than one.
Copa de la Vida, which was sung by Ricky Martin. And they had
then a David Guetta track,
which was sung by Excel Red.
Yeah, but there'd always be a David Guetta fucking track. So I was thinking there'd be a David Guetta track.
Yeah, the remix or something.
Guetta has to get involved in everything, man. You can't open a sporting ceremony without David Guetta showing up,
there you go.
whether he's been invited or not.
By the way, Russia only had 1 song. They figured since America only did 1 song, they figured they'd only do 1 song. They did it with, surprisingly so, they did it with Americans. They did it with Nicky Jam, who got on there with Will Smith.
Has had a fantastic career since.
Yeah.
And everybody knows Nicky Jam.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
the answer to this question was Qatar. Qatar had the most official anthem / songs by FIFA for their World Cup.
Oh.
They had 7 different songs.
What? Oh, come on.
That's called marketing, baby. That's called marketing. They put out a whole soundtrack on their own. They're like, can we get an album out of this?
All killer, no filler.
I know. There's like, wow. They want heavy and hard and paint. 7 songs.
I can't really
remember. Haya Haya, Better Together by Trinidad Cardona and Davido and Aisha. They had Arbo, which is sung by Gims and Red One and Ozuna. All Spanish. That was a Spanish-French track. The other one was an English track. Then he had an Arabic track called.
Please tell me David Guetta's on this.
I think he might be actually. He had Arabic songs sung by Nasir Al-Kubasi and Aid and Hanin Hussan. Then you had The World Is Yours to Take by Tears for Fears. featuring Lil Baby. They had Light the Sky by Rama Riyadh, Manal, Red One, Nora Fatahi, and Balkis. They had Tuko Taka by Nicki Minaj, Maluma, and Miriam Perez, which was an English, Spanish, Arabic song. The other two before that were English, and one
Got to
before
get
that
that
was
in.
Arabic.
You got to get your English and Arabic, Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
And that's what they did with the next one. The last one was Dreamers, which is an English Arabic song by Jungkook featuring Fahad Al-Kubasi.
David Guetta still got paid.
I'm sure David Guetta
still
produced.
got paid.
Right, yeah. He produced one of those tracks.
Something.
Yeah. He probably created the beat for one of those songs.
Have you seen those memes? I don't know if you've seen them on YouTube. They're really funny. It's like, well, they're not even memes, but they're those little videos on it's like David Guetta ends homophobia in 5 seconds, and then there's always like David Guetta ends racism in 5 seconds, and it's just him giving these really cringy little speeches. And then playing these songs. I mean, honestly,
his music.
But they're really like inappropriately. Like he'll give a speech about all this shit, and he'll basically mean racism needs to stop, and then he'll play like a really inappropriately shit track with Martin Luther King in it. They're brilliant. That's
almost as bad as like when they had
just
the
put into Google or put into
when they had the Kardashian
YouTube,
and like bring world peace by like drinking a Pepsi or something.
The Pepsi ad. Basically think the Pepsi ad with added David Guetta.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, but just go into YouTube and type it after this show. Just type in David Guetta ends. It's fucking hilarious. It really is funny. I mean, yeah.
I would just carry away like that whole Just Say No thing that Nancy and Ronald Reagan were so keen on. It convinced children worldwide not to take drugs, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it just raised interest in all this heroin stuff they're talking about. It sounds pretty good, you know. Zamo. I mean, it was Zamo over here. You'll know what I talk about when I'm saying Zamo, right?
I think, you know what, real quick question before we end, because we're about like 3 minutes away from coming up in the 2-hour mark. I don't remember. I think that despite you making the top 8, you still want to place. I think they probably would put emphasis on trying to place first instead of just making the top 8. So there was a question.
I don't think it seeds you though. I think in terms of if you finish first or 8, it doesn't affect the team you get next.
Do you know for a fact or you
basically go it doesn't mean that the team that finished 8 will face the sort of best team that comes out. It just becomes another straight draw then after that. So you can finish. But we would love to finish top of the thing. Of course we would. But I don't think it gives it. I don't think it becomes seeded then that 8, if you know what I mean. It just becomes that 8 plus the next 16 then goes into just a normal draw, which there isn't any seeding in. But you don't want to be kind of there on the last day, wouldn't it? But
I just asked that question because I saw Bonkers just put in there that currently with the live table going on, obviously we play tomorrow. Liverpool are in 3rd in the Champions League table with Inter and Barca above us. Both are winning at the moment. So that is what it is for that. Okay.
I think City are winning as well.
So I wanted to make sure.
Oh, they're winning. Oh, yeah, penalty. Of course it was.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. Is it still?
Okay. Actually, that's actually pretty interesting when I put it. But all right, guys, we're going to be letting you enjoy the rest of your day with the Champions League on currently, and then also with the anticipation of our match tomorrow. We're going to be doing a roll call tomorrow, so please be a part of that. It will be on at the 7 o'clock hour once again because the game is on at 8 o'clock. So we hope and look forward to seeing you there. Bring a friend, tell a friend to bring a friend, you know. And anything you want to say to the people before we let them enjoy the rest of their Tuesday? Lee.
Just thanks for being in the chat and thanks for contributing, everyone. Has a good laugh. And I think the laughter's going to continue tomorrow. It's going to be a good result, no matter what.
Okay. And Brian?
No, just thanks for being in and enjoy the game if you're still watching it. I know there's a lot of football going on. So, just remember, see you tomorrow for the roll call.
Okay, cool. And we hope to see you guys there tomorrow. We'll be doing a preview for that City matchup. Best believe. I mean, there's definitely will be on tap for us. And also, we hope that you'll join us for the roll call. It's very important for all of us to be able to congregate together, show the peace and love that we have in our hearts for each other, and to wish each other a great experience wherever you are going to be watching this game tomorrow. So we hope that we can, set it off right by getting together and projecting the right energy and the likes. All the same. It's worked out so far, so hopefully it continues to work out that way. So we will definitely catch you guys tomorrow, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. And as always, as we always like to say, up the Reds, people, up the Reds. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.